wasn't built in a day. I'm sure you'll understand. But put a West Indian in Nottinghamshire overnight, he's an Englishman. Oh, but please don't get the impression I have something against the Englishman. And I don't have no chip on my shoulder concerning Americans. It's just that the Yankees don't say, God bless Kevin. And think about this also. You will never hear an Englishman declaring, boy, I just hug off me beanie so. Therefore, I cannot see why, instead of today, I must say, today. And don't give me no damn muffin. I grew up on cassava and green plantain. So that even when they make a calls, I will be this way. I'll go walk into heaven, put down my roti and say, walk me there.
99.9 WEFM. WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Static. All right, so we are back with our Activated Mornings program here on WEFM. In studio, you have Dianna, Cain, and myself, Roleza, Samuel, all right? And we are your hosts for this morning's program. So generally, we are supposed to be receiving a call from Kingsley at this time. So Kingsley, this is your page, all right? Paging once, paging twice, paging Mr. Kingsley Defreitas, who is supposed to provide us with his commentary, all right? Let me see something.
I wonder if there's a ship in town, Kingsley.
All right, so Trevor saying how true the number of black folks who drink it.
That Kool-Aid is unbelievable.
Oh, it's the song I was playing before. All right, sorry. Yeah, I mean, it's a Caribbean-wide running joke that we have as soon as some persons touch the airport. If you're going US, your accent change
immediately.
You know, so yeah, it's just a running joke amongst us within the Caribbean.
I used to think it was just a Vinci thing a little, but now I realize that it's a Caribbean thing.
It's Caribbean gal. Very much Caribbean.
What's wrong with us? Anyways.
All right. So Kingsley, this is your final pitch. Paging once, paging twice. I'm giving you 5 seconds. All right, Kingsley, 5 seconds up. All right, so let's head into our topics at this time.
Yeah, anyway, somebody was saying we should play more trade winds a little bit more. But anyways, before I move on to this, as we're talking about Kingsley and ship, I gotta say big up to Virgin Voyages, man. I loved that display with our name on it. Oh my, that was lovely.
I wish I had realized that was because I didn't look outside. You know, I was watching the ships.
I was wondering if you saw that from home.
Nah, I was busy walking. I think if I was aware, I would have gone and looked. But I live for cruise ship season, folks. I live for the cruise ship season. Just to be outside looking.
Looking at the beautiful lights. Anyways, it was wonderful. But in other news, we have...
and if you want to see a video of it, I think it's on One News St. Vincent. The word St. Vincent was in lights as the ship was passing by last evening. All right. So if you haven't seen it, you can go on One News St. Vincent. A short clip is there. Right.
Yes. So moving on, unfortunately, as we are 20 days into the new year, still in the first month, we have our third homicide. Byram man died in the hospital on Saturday night after he was chopped in his community. All right, so the dead man is Kenville Morris, and he was allegedly injured during an altercation with another relative. Now, interestingly enough, he was rushed to the Georgetown Hospital, which is closer to him being, in Byra. Unfortunately, he had to be taken to the Milton Keynes Memorial Hospital, which is our main healthcare facility, but he eventually died from his wounds, all right? Which has now brought our homicide count for the year to number 3, okay? I'm not going to say anything further. Unfortunately, we're starting off the year with another one of these incidents. We've been talking about this a whole lot last year. I personally believe, excuse me, at this point, we just need a change in the mindset of the people. I don't feel like I should be calling on this is just the personal opinion of Dianna Cain. I don't feel like I should be calling on the government, or I should be calling on the police and keep on asking what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, when I read articles and I read the press release from the police, I'm not reading Minister of Government arrested and charged for such and such, officer such and such arrested and charged for such and such. Of course, if there's a case where they do something and they're in the news, but generally when we read about these homicides, it's the people in the country. So at this point, people, we need to do better. We are calling on the government because we want the government to impose more restrictions on people, and you want the police to do a whole lot more. But what are we doing? At this point, we need to do better.
Yeah, and I think under that point that Dianna is making, maybe what it is that many persons don't have a firm grip on is how self-control, right? Or even how to react to situations that can cause them to get into physical altercations with other persons, right? How many persons know how to just walk away? How many men in particular? Right. Now, of course, I don't know the situation or the circumstances surrounding this. We don't know that information as yet. But we tend to find as well that for many men, in the words of 50 Cent, many men don't know how to leave their egos, or they allow their egos to take over, right? So somebody may say something to them, they feel small, they say they're not taking that, especially if it happens within a crowd. They don't know how to walk away to either deal with the situation another day. I'm not talking about dealing with it physically, but maybe after having calmed down, then they'd be able to realize maybe it's not even worth interacting with an individual over a situation. All right. I know that also too, sometimes that many of us, the first thing that comes to our hand, we would use it, right? So a cutlass is close by, you use it. A bottle is nearby, you pelt it, right? These are the things. A gun is in your waist, you shoot it. Many persons do not know how to have self-restraint, and many persons don't know how to walk away. So conflict resolution is the term I was looking for all along in my head. But conflict resolution tips are what probably we need to work on a lot more. Maybe we need to have more PSAs. Maybe we need to have a social media blast in terms of putting that out there, in terms of short skits on how to avoid engaging in physical altercations with other persons. All right.
Yeah.
One of the other things I noticed coming from this particular article, and I noticed that some persons commented, and this one that we read from came from Eyewitness News, that the gentleman was taken, or the victim was taken to the Georgetown Health Center, and then he had to be transferred to the Milton Keynes Memorial Hospital. Now, this is the second time that I'm seeing someone being taken to the Georgetown facility and then having to be transferred to Milton Keynes Memorial Hospital. If you recall that the first baby that was born for the year, the parents, they went to Georgetown Hospital thinking that they could be able to have the child delivered there, only to be told that there isn't a maternity ward there, and then they were then transported to Kingston. So it seems as if maybe there needs to be a bit of dissemination of information with regards to what exactly are the services at the Georgetown Hospital, what it is that they can facilitate and what can they accommodate, so that in a case that persons are thinking, okay, because you have the name hospital attached to this particular facility, that you're thinking that all services in a sense can be done at that particular facility, only to be told that it's not, and then they have to be turned, they have to seek the services of Kingston. So it's wasting time, which can also impact on the life of that particular individual or the individuals trying to seek assistance. All right. So maybe, yes, I know persons can go and call and maybe find out what services are available, but maybe it might be good from the end of maybe the Ministry of Health or whoever to let persons know what services are available at the Georgetown hospital. All right. So that we could avoid a similar situation happening like this again.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. Sorry. And then moving on to another topic now. In another set of unfortunate. Okay. No, that. Let me take this call. Hi, caller. Good morning. Okay. There. Okay. So we lost that caller. You can try again, right? So in another bit of unfortunate, a bit of sad news, a 10-year-old boy attempted to rob some tourists at Curtains, right, with a knife. So there was an attempted robbery on some persons who had their yachts anchored at Curtains Bay. The 10-year-old boy, when they were coming out of a taxi and heading towards their yacht, and he, approached them with a knife, threatening, to take away their belongings and so on. However, they hurried along to the beach. There was another guy who was at the beach waiting to help them with their moorings. So they hustled to the beach, and of course, they were able to get back to their yachts without any further problems. But I found it alarming that he's just 10 years old, and he's gone to do something like this. I am wondering, I'm asking myself, did he do this on his own, or is it that some adults sent him to do something like that? But it was heartbreaking for me to hear of, a 10-year-old boy. I mean, it's not good to hear anybody trying to rob anybody, especially our tourists when they come to, explore our islands. But this little child, it's concerning.
Yeah, it is concerning. And Dianna read that story from St. Vincent Times. And St. Vincent Times, it seems as if they got their information from Caribbean Safety and Security Net, CSSN. All right. Now, I actually didn't even know about this particular page, this particular site. But what it does is that it lets persons know of the different crimes or maybe attempted crimes that happens within different countries or different Caribbean islands. So if you go on it, you would see the different islands where reports were being made. So yes, it is unfortunate to hear of this. I mean, the youngster appeared to be about 10 years old, and to even have the thought of to walk with a knife is interesting, So again, it is, we have to put a handle onto persons like this. I mean, had he, well, I don't know. He may have been overpowered in any event, right? By the adults in that situation, depending on the size of the youngster. But of course, you do not want to have such a negative, something so negative attached to your country. It can be said that yes, an attempted robbery had taken place, or was an attempted robbery happened, right? But then you also don't want for the Yachtees to go back and say, and imagine at somebody so young as 10 years old. So this is what you're going to have attached to the label of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Imagine this starting as young as possibly 10 years old. All right. So I don't even know who do we blame in this situation, because we might look to pass blame onto the parents, but sometimes parents aren't even aware of what their children are doing, So I just hope that this youngster, he is going to be taken into custody, and he is going to receive maybe the counseling that he needs. And if it's a case where early intervention needs to be made, that it is done at this time and it is consistent.
Yep.
All right.
Yes. All right. Next thing, we are in another bit of news information. What am I even saying? So another man was charged for threatening to kill. Well, he has several charges, including possession of an unlicensed round of 40mm ammunition, possession of an unlicensed firearm, unlawful discharge of a firearm, and wounding. And this is all in connection with this young man whose name is Daniel. We're just going to use that. His name is Daniel, and he was charged, all of that in connection with his assault of another person who's going by the name of Stapleton back in 2022. So Stapleton was walking home one night from a bar, and Daniel, the accused, approached him with his gun. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because we're getting to a funny part. So he approached him with his gun, and of course he started to threaten him, give me what you have. He beat him up with his gun. He pulled him off in this dark corner, and he said, boy, a car down there waiting on me, And, he's big, bad, and brave. Telling the man to open his mouth, put the gun inside, open him out to taste this gun. And then I'm so happy for this man, because I watch a lot of movies, and sometimes I be looking at situations and thinking, okay, now you could get a chance to attack. Don't just lie there. Always be thinking of how you can overpower your attacker. And this man did it. So in one little instance where Daniel looked away, he got on him and he took and he started to tackle him, and they ended up in somebody's yard. And guess what happened? Daniel now is saying, oh, please don't kill me. He started begging for his life in a ton of events. I have to say, I am pleased with Stapleton in the fact that he was able to he didn't just lie there and take whatever was happening to him initially, but he looked for an opportunity to get back at his attacker. And so we have the news story here where some justice, has been served, because he's been sentenced to 17 years and some months in prison. 17 years, some months, and some days in prison for all of that.
All right. So this story can be found on Eyewitness News. And what it is that is interesting to me is for items valued at $185, right? Because the phone was $115, a battery pack valued at $50, and a USB card valued at $20 for just about $185. And for the use of a gun. He is now finding himself in jail for about 18 years. And, it's just very ridiculous. I mean, if you go and read the story on Eyewitness News, you'd realize just how ridiculous it is. Mm-hmm. But what it is that I am most pleased with is that it's a stiff sentence that is being passed down. And if anything, prison is supposed to be a deterrent. And having stories like this coming out, it's supposed to be a deterrent. So for something as $185, in terms of trying to rob somebody, you're getting such a stiff sentence. Let's hope that it is going to at least resonate with a few persons, one or two. If we could have one or two deterring from engaging in crime, it's a plus for me. All right. So, Yep.
And they did say that they're, in the I can't find the proper word for the thing right now. It's not coming to me. I don't know what's going on with my brain. But you're getting stiffer penalties for possession of guns at this moment. So as Roleza said, let's hope that it's going to be a deterrent. Boy, let's hope.
All right. So we are going to head on out of this segment at this time. And of course, when we come back, we have our co-host in studio already with us for our Activated Mornings program here on WEFM. Time